again, if I just revise that thing again, uh, this pumping lemma, there are only three conditions. Mainly there are three conditions that is written here, and the fourth condition is written here. Okay, depending upon the L, such that every string W in L is of length at least P. Okay, so again, I have given you, I think, some question to do. If you have done it, so well and good. If you not done it, I will again repeat it. Okay, so the question was, I think, a raised to power n and b raised to power m. Okay, okay, so we have done only, I think, okay, so we got wrong group. Just let me see. We have done only one question, I think. Yeah. Okay, so another question will be, yeah, x raised to power n and y raised to power 2n. Okay, so again, if you remember that part here, I just copy and paste the definition here again so that it is right in front of you and you can see the conditions before. Just let me show, let me copy and paste. Okay. Now if you see, again it is based on the same condition that we have studied. Again, if I just simplify this one, then there exists an integer p greater than equal to 1 depending upon the length of L, such that every string in W uh, is of length. I just write it and delete it. I write it like here, is greater than or equal to p. So that is the same meaning of at least. The length is at least of length p. Okay, so I just write the length is at least, the length is greater than equal to p means that it is at least p. So first of all, understand this condition. Okay, so now again go for the first condition that is written like here. So replace this n with p. So x raised to power p and y raised to power 2p here. Okay, so now again I have to give the condition here, n raised to power 1. Okay, so now p, I have replaced this n with a pumping string, pumping variable that is called your p. And if you take a look at it, if I am not setting any value, the length of this string. Okay, so the length of this string here is, the length of x will be p and the length of y will be 2p. So I can call it as 3p. So it is always, 3p is always greater than or equal to p. So the first condition is satisfied. Again, if you set the string, like if I just set the string as p equal to 1, you can again see this one, that when it will become 1, so the length of xy will become this one, xyy. So the length of this one become 3, and 3 is also greater than equal to the pumping length here, that is your 1. Okay, so that is also true. Okay, so you can do it like this way, or you can do it by taking any string. You can do it like this way also, so there is no problem about it. But always the length of this xy will always be greater than the length of the p. Okay, so in this particular scenario, because this is 3p. Okay, so the first condition, this one is satisfied, and now it is very very simple to do. So you can assume anything, that for p equal to 1 you can solve it, so p equal to 2 you can also solve it, so p equal to 3 you can also solve it. Okay, so it may be possible, when you are pumping the string, you may find that some other strings belong to the language. So don't worry about it. Check for 2 or 3 strings. If you find at least one string, if you are able to find only one string that does not belong to a language, you can directly say that pumping lemma fails. Okay, keep that thing in mind. If you find only one string, also only one string, and only one string, will I say, at least one string. So at least one string that is generated by your pumping lemma, if it does not belongs to the language, you can directly say it. There is no need to check it, that pumping lemma fails and this language is not regular. Okay, so pumping lemma fails. So this is only the thing. Okay, now you can go for the with p equal to 1 or p equal to 2. I just go with p equal to 2, because in this one I always get x and y. So I prefer this way. I prefer it this way. Okay. So when I raise it to the power, so the string is x raised to power p and y raised to power 2p. So take the value of p and put it inside. So it will become x raised to power square and y raised to power 4. Okay. So now write like this: xx followed by 4y's. Okay. So now again the condition, if you remember, you have to, now this is your w string, you have to break it into x, y and z such that your y should be greater than or equal to 1 and the length of x y should be less than or equal to the length of pumping string. So here we have set the pumping string equal to 2. Keep that thing in mind. Okay, so how can I do that? So if I select this one as x and this one as this one as y, only then the condition will be satisfied. Okay, just let me do this. Okay, now if I just take this one as y and then take this one as z. Okay, so first of all, the first condition is y, the length of y here is 1, so the first condition is satisfied. The length of xy, so the length of xy is exactly 2. If you take this is xy, the length of xy is 2, should be less than or equal to 2. So this condition is also satisfied. Okay, so we have divided division of xyz of this string is, I think, correct. Now you move on and pump the strings. Okay, so if you remember the equation, that equation is given that for all, if I just go for further, for all I greater than 0, x y raised to power I z belongs to L. Okay, so first of all, we are considering every language that are party uh, at that we are processing, every language that we are processing. We first consider this, that this is a regular language. Okay, only then we are applying the pumping lemma. Keep that thing in mind. Then we firstly assume directly that the language under observation is directly, we say that this is a regular language, and if this is a regular language, then this should follow the following conditions. Okay, so if it does not follow the following condition, I will say that pumping lemma will fail. So this is kind of a proof by contradiction. Okay, so proof by contradiction, by failing the test we can get the thing. Okay, so that is okay. Now if you raise it for all I greater than equal to 0, x raised to power I raised to power z should all belongs to the language here. Okay, so if it does not belong to the language, so by contradiction I can directly say that this is not a regular language. Okay, so now what can you do? X raised to power I and z. Okay, so what is x? X is x, already x, and y here is only one y, so I have to raise it to the power of y, and z is 4 y's. Okay, so there are 4 y's. Okay. Now pump it. So now I will pump like I equal to 2. Now it will become x, y, y, and 4y. Sorry, I think, yeah, that is the problem here. Sorry for that. Uh, what do I do? Okay, just wait for a minute. X. Okay. So this is your x. Sorry for that. X raised to power I, because the y part is x here. So just little bit of a mistake by my part. Okay. Now x I raised to power x. So triple x. Now it will become, 4 y's. Okay. So 3x and 4 y's. Now if you clearly look at this, this language is e raised to power I think x raised to power n, y raised to power 2n. So whatever be the value of x, the y will be a double of that value. Okay, so now if you see the value of x is 3, now it should be y, the value of y will be 6. It should be like this, but this string does not belong to the language. Okay, now you have find your first string that does not belong to the language. By pumping I equal to 2, you can directly say that this is not regular. So there is no need to check any further string. If you find only one string, at least one string, if you find, you can directly say that this is not a regular one. Okay, again for your reference, I can again check it, that x, now I can raise it to the power of x, x, and x raise it to the power of 3. Now still it does not belong to the language, because if x's are 4, then the y should be 8 here, so that also does not belong to the language. Okay, so no, again you can do this on p equal to 1 also. So for doing this, you have to have the value of x as 0, to satisfy this condition that length of xy should be less than equal to p. Okay, so that is only the condition. So that is why I always prefer p equal to 2. Most of the string you will find here. Again, if you do it by p equal to 1, that is not wrong, that is also correct. Okay, so again, I think you should try this question if you can, this one. Now most of you will be easily able to identify. I don't think you need a pumping lemma to tell you that this ring is not regular here. I already told you that this is n and this is n. You can directly say that there is a dependence between them, and for that dependence we need a memory. Okay, so you can directly say that this is not regular. Still, if you are following a formal method, you can do this. Okay, so now do this one, like a raised to power n. Just let me see the question. Just wait for a minute. Have any question? Okay. So do this one, a raised to power n, b raised to power n, and a b n plus 1. Okay, so prove it by contradiction that this is a regular language or not. Okay, so just first prove it, then I will again show you the procedure. Okay, so just try it yourself first. I will tell you the solution in like 2-3 minutes. Okay. The main thing is just to share the procedure that you will write on your notepads. Okay, just share the procedure. I just see that you are doing it right or not. Again, I will uh, show that condition and write the question here. A raised to power n, b raised to power n, and I think a b raised to power n plus 1. Okay, so I think that was the question. Yeah. Okay, so just try it. I will tell you the solution.
Okay, so the main purpose of this question is to just remind you what are the steps. Okay, so it is absolutely very easy. But if you remember some things, if you again do one or more question, you will get that how easy it is. Okay, so it is not very difficult. So again, you have to just keep that in mind. There are four conditions. First is that, second is that, first, third, and fourth condition. So fourth condition is the pumping condition. There is nothing to remember about that part. Okay, so just go for that question. Now this question is again because you can directly say that this is not a regular language here. So but because we are doing absolutely because we are doing theory of computation and this is a theory class, so some kind of a proof is required. So for that proof, that pumping lemma is always the most preferred thing. Okay, so that now you can again directly see that this is not a regular language. But how to prove that this is not a regular language? That can only be proved by a pumping lemma. So if you want a substantial proof, something something like mathematical proof that is available for that, so you have to apply a pumping lemma. If I just say that prove that this is not a regular language, you can only prove it by pumping lemma. Okay, so keep that thing in mind. But if I'm directly asking you that is this language regular or not, you can go with the methods, informal methods that I've already told you. Okay, now start with the same thing. That now if you clearly see this, now the what will be the length of the string here? So the first thing is it should be greater than or equal to p. So the length of the string. Okay, so if I just replace it with a raised to power p, b raised to power p, and a b raised to power p plus 1. Okay, so if I just replace it with this one, so I think the minimum length, I think you can get like 2p you can already get from here, and 1p is also there, so you can also get 1p from here, and it is plus 1 here. So just leave it like that. Again, you can just see, don't you do not need to check all the things. You just again from this, I know that there will be at least 2p length of this string, and 2p is again greater than 1. If you are something, if you're adding something to it, that is well and good, but there is no need. You can directly say that the first condition, that the length of the string w should be greater than p here. So that is first of all, this is satisfied. Afterward, you have to derive out a string and select what you want to do. If you want to do p equal to 1 or p equal to 2 or p equal to 3, that depends upon you. Okay, so again we can take p equal to 2 here. So what the equation will become? A raised to power 2, b raised to power 2, a followed by a raised to power 2 plus 1, that is your 3. Okay, so I think that is a whole lot of a big equation that here becomes. So you can write it like a b b a b b b. Now if you clearly look at it, because this is a p raised to power, this always this kind of a selection will comes into play, that this will be your x and this will be your y, and the remaining will be your z. Because if you want to satisfy the condition that the length of x and y, collective length of x and y should be less than or equal to p. Now in this case the p is 2, so it will be less than equal to 2 here. So now the collective length of x and y should be now here if you take a look at it, it is 2, and 2 is less than equal to 2. So first condition is satisfied. Second condition is the length of y should be greater than equal to 1. So that condition is also satisfied because the length of y is 1 here. Okay, so now the two conditions are satisfied. So the third condition is just you have to pump it. Okay, so now how to pump it? X raised to power I raised to power z, so it will become a from here, and y it will become y a from here, and then the remaining part is your b b a b b b. Okay, now pump that string I raised to power 2. Okay, so a b b a b b and b. Okay, so if you clearly look at this, what the language is exactly, if I just write it like this, can this string is possible from here? I don't think. If you raise a to the power of 3, then I need 3 b's here. So here are only 2 b's. So if I just raise it to the power of 2 here, so it will become a 3 3 a's, 3 b's, then there are 4 b's, a followed by a 4 b's. Okay, so I don't think that this belongs to the language here. So you can directly say that this fails. That is why this language is not regular. Okay, So now mostly you have seen the pumping lemma comes into play on non-regular language, that the languages that are not regular. But what happens if a language is regular? Then how you apply a pumping lemma? Like if you see like this one, e raised to power n, b raised to power n, where the value of n and m is greater than equal to 1. So just apply this one if you can. Okay, so just apply this one and see. Again, remember the procedure that what you have to do, and please apply and show me the work. Okay, so again, show me the work that is available in the pumping lemma theorem. Okay, so that is because this is a mathematical procedure. More particularly, that is the theorem part. So I have to see some proof here. Okay, so please post your screenshot of the proof for this one. Okay, so just try it. I think you can easily do this. I think most of you now understood it. Okay. Just take a little bit of time. I don't think it will take more than 5 minutes. Okay, so just take it and share your screenshot. Okay. Okay. So if you are not able to now understand again, so again see for the explanation for this one again. Uh, Now if I just replace it with n and m with p here, so this is your a and this is your b raised to power p here. Now again follow the same procedure. This p 2p is greater than it's greater than or equal to p. So the length of this will at least be p here. So that is the same procedure that is occurred in x raised to power n and y raised to power n. Now after that there will be again go for this one p raised to power 1 or p equal to. Okay, so I most preferably I prefer this one. So what it will become a raised to power 2 b raised to power, so it will become a b b. Okay, So now if you clearly see, this will become your x and this will become your y, and the remaining part will become your z. Okay. So now check for the condition that is y, the length of y is greater than 1. Yes, the length of y is greater than 1. Is the length of collective length of x and y is less than or equal to p. So in this case your p is 2. So check for it. So the collective length is 2 and it is less than equal to 2. So this condition is also satisfied. Okay. So after that you now have to pump it. So if you remember that x raised to power y raised to power z, so it will become a raised to power a raised to power a raised to power I, and this z will be your bb. Okay. So now if you clearly see, now you pump it a, now a b b. Now if you see the language here, that is e raised to power n and b raised to power n. Now the dependency of n and m is not there. Okay. So again a can be 3 and b can be 2, so that belongs to the language again. Now if you again pump it, a 3 A's then B, so it will again belong to the language here. Okay, so it will become 4 A's and 2 B's. So I don't think that there is no problem about it. Okay, so if you are pumping it again, you can get like you can write it like this: A star and B star. Okay, so any number of A's can come followed by any number of B's. Okay, so that can happen here. Okay, so I cannot write it like this because the star means that it has to be a 0 here, so I cannot put a 0. So you can write it like a plus b plus. So in this one again, this plus is not dependent upon this plus. Okay, so if you remember what is the meaning of plus, the plus means that it starts from 1 up to infinity. Okay, so now you will not find any string that will not in the language. Okay, so your main purpose is to find that string that does not belong to the language, but I don't think you will find, if you pump it any number of times, you pump it, you will, all the strings will belongs to the language again. uh, Again, you now you can say that this language, what do I call this language, a raised to power n b raised to power 1, has passed passed bumping lemma. Now, again, I cannot say that this is a regular language or not a regular language. Okay, clearly we know that this is a regular language because by the theory of it, if you are able to draw a finite automata for this particular language, you can directly say that this is a regular language. Okay, but by bumping lemma, you cannot say that this is a regular language or not a regular language. Okay, so your question still lags behind it, that it's a regular language or not, you are not sure. Okay, so again, if only if the pumping lemma fails this test, if the language fails the pumping lemma, only then you can say that this is not a regular language. Okay, so that is the disadvantage of pumping lemma, that if it passes, then again I am not sure that this is a regular language. So that is why I have taken some time to tell you about the informal ways to recognize that a particular language is regular or not. Okay, so that is why I have done this. Okay. Okay, so in the same way, the pumping lemma is very easy. It is not very difficult, just because there are so much variables here, like p here, and then l here, then w here, then x here, then y here, then z here, then there is a I. Because of these variables, people get confused that what is pumping lemma, but absolutely it is very easy. Keep that in mind. Okay, so more and more question you do, and again you more questions are given in the tube, and the tube is only saying that identify the regular languages. Okay, so you can identify the regular languages, uh, by using pumping lemma also, or you can directly go with that method, that informal thing that I've told you. Okay, both are correct. Okay.
So,
Yes.
so can you give any logical explanation behind the inference we are drawing from these results, the results which we are getting?
Can you repeat the question?
So can you give any logical explanation between for the inference that we are drawing from the results that we are getting?
Logical inference.
Yeah. So like like the method is clear, but when we do like x y I dot z and we are pumping it, then what is actually happening?
Acha,
As in,
okay.
how can we draw that conclusion?
Okay, okay, I get your point, but exactly why pumping lemma is so successfully not recognizing the language, because again the same thing that I've told you that there, if you write something, uh, why again we get a string like this and you just like this one. Okay, so like something like this. Okay, so now it is saying that if I am able to suppose this is your y and this is your x and this is your z, suppose for supposition part only, it cannot, if the pumping length, I am not defining any pumping length here. So what happens in that, what is the logic behind why it is saying that this particular string does not belong to the language, because it is finding some loop here. Okay, so if you are pumping the string, it means like B, 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 it means that there is certain kind of loops that is existing there. Okay, so just wait for a minute. Okay, so it is just saying that there is some kind of a loop that is present and that is tackled by pumping lemma. Okay, so it means that by taking that loop and you pumping the strings, it means that I have able to derive a infinite pattern in a finite way. So that is the logic behind it, but that logic depends upon more things. Okay, so it depends upon pumping length also. Okay, so these pumping length or this p1 or this things, I just tell you about these things also. Okay, so this pumping length, this one, and this x and y, the value and the conditions of x and y ensures that we always land on that part of the string where there is a possible loop here. Okay, so these condition ensure that you will always land on the looping part. Okay, so that is the logic behind it. Okay, so again, everything, every regular expression you are seeing, they are again based on the same thing, that we are able to find some loop. If you are able to find some loop, it means that there is some kind of a pattern that exists in that. Okay, so again, for that loop part, I also told you that why I am following this ap part. Okay, so this again, this ap part, because it has a common difference. Okay, so this common difference signifies a pattern here. Okay, so it is again based on that lines. If you clearly see that pumping lemma is clearly based on that lines, that we are able to find the pattern, and these necessary conditions that are defined in the pumping lemma ensures that we always land in that part. The y will always be in that part where a possible loop will be in that. Okay, so that is the hidden logic behind this pumping lemma. Okay, 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 so now I just want to tell you that there are properties of regular languages. Okay, so now in your syllabus, uh, there are two properties, different properties. The first property is called your closure property, and the second property is called your decision property. Okay, so absolutely, I will give you the decision property is written in the second module, but I don't think that it should be in there. Okay, so still, for the for the sake of completion, I will tell you about the decision property, but it will make more sense to you when we are done with Turing machine. Okay, so the decision property, what is exactly a decision, I will tell you all about it. Don't worry about it. But again, I will repeat that decision property part when we covered this Turing machine. Okay, so there are some properties that are decidable and some properties that are not decidable. Okay, so decidable, not decidable means that if you remember in the tutorial, I think I have given you that example, that that if you are what is the example? I just okay. So if you uh, make a call to a customer care executive, so what happens is that they're saying just please wait for like 8 minutes. Your call is very important to us, and get to you in like 10 minutes. Okay, so after 10 minutes again they are saying please wait for another 20 minutes. Again after 20 minutes they are saying that 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes, and you are still in the line, still on the phone line and waiting for your call. But again they are again giving you a deadline that wait for 70 minutes. Okay, now after some times you will get bored and think that I don't think my term will come, and you just give up and switch off and just hang up the phone. Okay, so that is the one possibility. But there is also a possibility that when exactly when you have hang up the call after 1 minute, your call will be picked. So that is also possible here. Okay, so this one is also possible that but you cannot know that because you have hang up the phone. Okay, so that kind of a problem is called a undecidable problem, that I am not sure that what is the exact time for waiting for me that I will get my turn. Okay, so that kind of bigger questions come in the decision property. So every language like regular language, context free language, context sensitive language, every language has a particular decision property. Okay, so the decision property is same for all. It will be decidable or it will be not decidable. So only one thing, that it will be decidable or it will be undecidable. So there are only two outputs in the decision property. I will explain you what is that, don't worry about it, for regular part only. But I again will give you more stress when we are done with the Turing machine. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, so now the closure property again, closure property is written in the third module, but I think it makes more sense now. We are done with most of the module. If you remember, we have done finite automata, that is your acceptor part, and that finite automata contains finite automata with output and without output. Okay, so if you remember that part, with output contains your Murray and Mealy, and without output contains your DFA, NFA, and epsilon NFA. Okay, so after doing this part, we have now done the representer of a regular language, that is your regular expression, and all the procedures that are related to this regular expression. Okay, now another part we have done the identification of a uh, regular languages. Okay, so that part we have covered till here. Now there is another part, that is your closure property of regular languages. Okay, so there are so many properties in discrete set. I will tell you like all the properties that are related to regular language completely in detail. After that, I do not need to explain it for context-free language or for any language set. Okay, so that part, in that part I will again completely with detail I will tell you about the properties of regular language. These properties will be same for all the languages. Okay, so that now again the output of this will be that yes it is closed or no it is not closed. Okay, so that is only the output here, and there the output is this decidable or undecidable. Okay, so, okay. Okay. So now we are doing that properties, closure properties, more specifically closure properties of a regular language. Okay. I will again in the end I will provide you a different table where every property is given. So don't worry about that part. Okay. So now there are some properties that you are already aware of it. So the properties I have already introduced you in one and time in tutorials also. Okay, so the properties like union property. Okay, so first of all you need to understand what is the meaning of closure. Okay, so now what's again I will take another example that I think I'm telling you about to yesterday, that suppose that this is your set. Okay, so in that set it is a set of natural numbers. Okay, so the natural number range is from 1 to up to infinity. Okay, so now I'll tell you what is the closure means here. Closure property means that now take any number from this set, like I have taken 5, and take any number from again from this set like 8. Okay, so I have taken this number, and I have added this number. Okay, so 8 plus 5 is 13. Okay, so now understand the definition of closure property here. Now all the natural number set, when I take any number out of it and I add it to any other natural number, the number that I get is again a natural number. Okay, so if that happens, then I can say that this plus is closed under natural numbers, under natural number set. Okay, so I can say that. How, why I say that? Okay, again, if I just generalize it, okay, so if I take any number from this set, that is your natural number, and apply a operator here, some operator, and it can be anything, plus, minus, divide, multiply, and uh, apply the operator with another natural number from this set, and again if I get okay, so I just again more generalize it. Okay, so if I take a natural number from this set and take a operator and apply the operator with again the natural number here, and again the resulting output is again a natural number, then I can say that this OPER is closed under natural number, is closed under natural number. Okay, so in this is a specific property that I can say that plus, if you apply and take any natural number and apply a plus operator between two natural numbers, you will again always get a natural number. You can directly say that this plus is closed under a natural number set. Okay, so that is the closure properties here. Okay, so again, what is the meaning of that? That if I'm talking about the property, specifically property called like a plus property. So if you remember, what is this plus property? This is your union, and this is only used for or. Okay, so or part. Okay, so most of the property you already have seen there. They are not very new properties. You will already have seen this one. Okay, so union, what is the meaning of union? You can also denote it by this union, or you can also denote it by plus also. Okay, so now what is the meaning of it? Now when you take one regular language, or just take denoted by this regular expression r1, and you apply this operator, that this operator, what is this union, with another regular, this is also a regular language or representing a regular set, and this is also a regular set that is representing a regular this is a regular expression that is representing a regular set, and this is a regular expression that is representing a regular set. Okay, so now the resulting thing that you will got is again a regular language. Okay, so that is why I can say that this plus is closed under. Okay, so now if I just take example, then I think you will understand better what exactly I want to say. Okay, so now suppose there is a regular language like a raised to power n, and where n is greater than equal to 0. So this is a regular language, and another one will be b raised to power m, where m is greater than equal to 0. Okay, so there are two different regular languages. So you can write the regular expression for this one a star. So there is no two ways about it. You can directly write it a star, because this is n is raised to greater than equal to 0, so you can write it like this. Okay, now this is m, and this m is again greater than equal to 0, so you can again denote this by b star. Okay, so if I apply a plus operator in between them, so it will become a star plus b star. Now this one is again a regular language. Okay, so now because this is also a regular expression, as well as you can draw the automata of this one pretty easily. Okay, so now this uh, individually this is a regular language, individually this is also a regular language. When I apply a plus here, then it will become this one, and this is also a regular language. Okay, so I can say that this plus is closed under regular languages. Okay, so I can see that this plus is closed under a regular language. Okay, so that is the procedure to identify anything. Okay, so I hope you understand that one. Okay, in the similar way, if you see another operator that you are called is concatenation, It's also denoted as dot concatenation. Okay, so concatenation, if you just combine two operators, like if you take the same example, you can write like this: a raised to power n and b. Singly, this is also a regular expression. Individually, this is also a regular expression, b raised to power m. This is also a regular expression. When you create a concatenation between them, it will become a raised to power n, b raised to power n, where raised to power n and m is greater than equal to 0. Okay, so you can again draw a finite automata. If you remember, this is also a finite automata. Okay, so now if you clearly look at this, that this seems a very simple thing, that if you apply a concatenation here, so again there are properties that are already defined. You do not have to check for every expression that this is closed or not. Okay, so how can you neglect that it is not closed? Okay, so you, if for this example I just say that if there is some regular there is some natural number exist, if I apply a plus between that natural number and the resultant you got is not a natural number. Okay, so if you are able to find at least one or only one of these scenario in the set here, you can directly say that it is not closed. It is again based on the same thing that I've told you in bumping lemma, that if you are able to find at least one thing that is not satisfying the closure property, you can directly say that this is not closed under. Okay, so now I am giving you examples. So these are, because regular language set is a very big set. Regular language set is a very big set. So you do not have to check every single regular language, because it is already checked and it is already proved that this concatenation property is closed under a regular set. So you do not have to specifically check for every language. That is why I am telling you that I will give you a table in the end that signifies the properties that we have already been performed. Okay, so if you take, if you will not be able to find any language, then by combining it, it will not be regular part. Okay, so okay, so there might be some kind of a doubt in between. I will tell you. Uh, okay, so if you have any doubt, you can again ask me. But this is just a closure properties. Okay, so if I just show you the table also, that you will get a more understanding. Okay, so that is the closure property table. If you clearly see this, that just defines that this one. Okay, the properties are written on the this property side, that union, intersection, set difference, complementation, intersection with the regular language, concatenation, clean closure, clean plus. So that only plus is called your clean plus. Reversal homomorphism, epsilon free, inverse substitution, epsilon free. Okay, so if you clearly see this, that this set is already closed, so that is already defined. You do not have to check for everything. I am just telling you that what are these exact properties. Okay, so what is this intersection and what is the set difference, and I will give you some proofs. I will not give all the proofs to you, because that will become a very difficult task. I will give you some proofs that are easily solvable and you can easily understand. But if you clearly see in this one, the regular language also is are already closed under many things. Okay, so if you see, all the things are yes here. Okay, okay. So just let me see if there is any query. Yeah, I just thinking the same thing that Bangla has said. Okay, so I will tell you about this. What is the meaning of this this one? Okay, so sorry for that. Where is that? Okay, so I just know that you will ask about this, that this a raised to power n and b raised to power n, and when we combine it, it will become a raised to power n and b raised to power n, and in concatenation, exactly this is not a regular language. Okay, so just I also got the same doubt when I'm teaching you. So just let me clarify this, that what is the, I will tell you in the next class. Okay, so that is your valid doubt. That is absolutely valid doubt. Okay, so I will tell you in the next class that about this one. Okay, so why this is the exception here. Okay, okay. Now the third property is your clean closure. Okay, so clean closure, again it is already closed in it, so I can take any language. So if I just take this regular expression and raise it to the power of star, this one is again closed and this one is again a regular language. Okay, so why I'm telling you this property, that I will tell you at the later part by giving you some question that what is the significance of this property. Okay, so because I am only talking about regular, it will not be a whole lot of complex things in this, but when I'm talking, but when I will do context free language as well as context sensitive language. Now the difficulty level will raise there. Okay, so don't worry about it. Okay, so I think we will discuss now the remaining properties in the next one, so don't worry about this one. So this is a doubt, I will also tell you in the next class, so don't worry about that one. Okay, so why this is an exception here, I will tell you, don't worry about it. Okay, so again, in the next class, if you have any friends, just please inform them to attend your next class, because there is a